Here we go. Perfect. Okay, we're live. And just as a reminder, we are going live every single weekday in this Facebook community, conscious business community, and at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And every day, I really try to bring guests that I feel are going to help all of us, me very included, in this journey of consciously designing really our businesses, but really our lives in a way where we feel in alignment, in a way where we feel like we can naturally move through. And, I've been in the business world for a while, and it often feels like we're checking these boxes and these to-do lists. And I've just been thinking for a while, there's got to be a better way. So I'm bringing you guests and folks to help us all on this journey. And I kind of want to start off today, Fabiola, with your story and how you got to this place of really being able to be this intuitive counselor and healer for so many.
Yeah, it took a long time. So for the people that don't know me, I'm originally from Peru. And I always knew that I was going to leave the country at some point. So I came to the United States with the intention of getting a master's degree in science, which I did at the University of Nevada, Reno. And there was something after I graduated that I didn't quite understand, that I didn't feel quite that I was in the right place. So I took time to kind of step back and just raise my kids, just take time to find myself in some regards. And I started meditating. And then when I started meditating, my life changed. And you probably heard this many, many times that people, you need to meditate, and then people just fall asleep or they can't get it right. I was very fortunate that I got a system that worked really well for me. And not every system works for everybody. So everybody's different. And that started a new awakening where I was able to turn on my intuition. I got training as a clairvoyant. And then my world changed because I realized that I could heal myself in ways that didn't have to do necessarily with a physical level. It was my soul, my energetic field that needed to be healed. And then I was feeling better physically because I was struggling with health issues. And then that was the beginning of my journey. So I kept developing all these skills, and then I got given a special mission this last year, which we're going to talk about, which is a documentary. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's really great. And I find that it's such a common story, right? We find the tools that we then end up teaching through going through our own journey and first, needing them ourselves. I can relate to that as well, in my own healing journey. And meeting, all the folks that I now really work with has been through me looking for tools when Western medicine really couldn't provide to me what, they couldn't really help me beyond a pharmaceutical pill. So you just kind of find things that you need, and then you end up, turning into your toolbox when you're a teacher. And so you got this really unique, one thing I really love about you is that you feel something within, and you're really able to ground into what your heart wants, and then you go after it. And so let's talk about that, kind of how you learned and trained, how you learned to just follow those urges. And then we can get into one of the biggest journeys this year that you followed, and paths that you went down, which is just so inspiring.
Wow. Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that it is so important that we take the time to commune with ourselves, be able to hear your own voice. Sometimes we're dreaming about so many things out there, like we're supposed to be successful or be this or do that. And what really matters is to listen to your inner voice. What is that makes you happy? So through meditation, and I want to say contemplation, and working with my clients, I've learned to listen to that inner voice and to honor what I'm meant to do as a next step. So I hear it, I feel it, and then pretty soon I say, so how do I do this? And thank God, because I've been working on this for a long time. It's not only my inner voice that guides me, but my spiritual guides, and also the angels and everything, the whole consciousness. I can tap into that and find the best solution for me or my clients. And it was very interesting. At the beginning of this year, I had a message from the other side that, and I have to describe it like this. It was like lightning, mudslide, and whisper at the same time. And my guys came and said, "What if you film a documentary in the Andes?" And it was just, wait, what? First of all, I'm not a filmmaker, okay? I love to watch movies. I don't know anything about making them. And somehow this just seemed right. And they sent me, the mudslide was a mudslide of images, right? That came like really, really fast. And I knew that I was going to be able to do it. I called my husband and I said, listen to what just happened to me. I just had this major download from the other side, and they're suggesting to make a documentary. And he says, well, let's do it. And I'm like, wait, what? No resistance whatsoever. I mean, we argue sometimes about what car we're going to drive, or, who left dirty dishes in the sink or whatever, but not argument. This was something that we knew it was right. And we just started a journey finding the right team to do this. And it was a journey. It was definitely a journey finding the right people. And we were blessed with three amazing kids that were very knowledgeable in the process. And we left on May 1st on the journey of our lives. And as I described in the promo video, it was a rebirth. It was, if I said, if you had to take the chance in life to be reborn again, would you do it? Would you take the plunge? And I didn't know when I was writing the script for the promo video that actually it was going to be a literal plunge into a lake. And it just, to give me a new heart, to give me a new vibration where I could be reborn and feel what joy and happiness what truly, truly was. And that was the experience that I had in this documentary. So now we're back and we have so many hours of footage, and we're sorting through them and working through the process. But the experience that we had was unbelievable. It was great. It was definitely worth
So
the chance.
just to recap, because I really want to make sure the folks listening understand what you did, and I think with a lot of us in our own creative processes, and as we are moving through being on our own path of creation, which I really feel like the self-employed route is like you've agreed with yourself and this thing that you're creating to partner together and to go on this path, and without kind of maybe a larger institution, involved in many of the stages, maybe some of the stages, but it's really this intimate journey with yourself. So you listen to this voice, this message that you were receiving, and you went for it. And and I'm gonna link to the Facebook group that you have. So not only did she take this leap and follow, your heart, but you helped people go on the journey with you by, creating this Facebook group and helping them, and just having some clips along the way. So I'll link that here in the comments for people to be able to join. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. So in this, so now where are you in that process? Because I really love like the creator's process. So you're home and now you're kind of in what stage are you in?
Well, you're talking about the documentary?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going through the footage, like I mentioned. Evelyn Opliger, who is our post-production person, is going through all the footage and organizing. Wyatt Daney, who is our screenwriter, he is going through all the dialogue and translations that I have to get ready from Spanish, because a lot of the interviews were done in Spanish, which, by the way, is my first language. And also we had Serena Dilwith, who was our cinematographer, who did an excellent work. And she gets to rest now because she did the hard work while we were there. But, she's definitely part of our team, and we're working together and trying to make this, make it happen. I have different ideas. Hopefully we can get a mini documentary so we can start getting the people excited about this project. And just the whole concept was about allowing people to have their own awakenings through showing me going through my wounds. I had several experiences there during the journey where I was in tears. I was crying, and I was just like really digging deep in there. And that's what I want to share. I want to share that we all have those wounds, and nature, because that's my job as a shaman. Nature is a wonderful schoolroom to learn these lessons, to heal from your wounds and become that wonderful person that you were meant to be, to finally realize your purpose and to finally be happy. I mean, just it's a process. You're not gonna be happy all the time, but most of the time, I think that's fair, right? So that's where I am,
So,
just trying to get the word out.
wonderful. Yeah, it's super inspiring. And I think for a lot of us in this group, checking out, yeah, Fabiola's Facebook group, and I just linked it in the comments, would be yeah, just such a great discovery. So if we can't go over, to the Andes and be in touch with nature in that form, on an everyday occasion, what are some things that folks can do to, yeah, ground through nature? Because I really think that's something, one of your gifts is helping guide people through that.
Right. I think this was a process for me, but I think I always did it since I was a little child. It's very important to get out there in nature, and let's get out there not only to work on our stamina and our performance, how fast you can go on the bike or how many miles you can do it. No, I want you to go out there and be one with the path, be one with the trees, be one with the air, with the beauty that is out there, because we forget that we are part of this planet. We're part of Pachamama. We're part of all this beautiful nature. We forget that this is not only for our entertainment. We are part of it, and nature is part of us. So understanding that concept, I think, can make wonders for a person. And then
Mm,
secondly, one of the things that I do when people come to me, I help them. Um, well, because I'm an energy healer and a clairvoyant, I'm also able to see their energy and help them remove the blockages that stops them from accomplishing their purpose. And just to make you a long story short, we are just denser forms of energy, right? So as we move away from our body, we have our energetic field, and when we heal the energetic field, then we can heal the body, and we can heal the mind and the soul. So if we're able to do that, in some ways, even through meditation or walk in the woods or whatever, you can be a much better person and finally get a light of what your true purpose is in life.
mm, yes. Yeah, and
Mhm.
the more we can really, I mean, I think
Yeah.
we hear this a lot, like connect with nature, go be in nature, right? We hear
Mhm.
this a lot. However, this idea of maybe it's about following that feeling that you
Mhm.
have, right? And really like
Right.
the feeling of being barefoot on the earth, right?
Absolutely. Mhm.
And just and let that feeling guide you, I think could really help people, motivate them to actually maybe be in nature.
Absolutely. And just again, a part of the documentary was exactly that, being in nature, being one with the mountains. I was very fortunate to have amazing spiritual guides and shamans that were with me, and they taught me that we need to have a respect for nature. We need to be, like the way I see it, when we take something from Mother Nature, remember, it's your mother. When you want something from your mother, when you were a kid, did you go into her wallet and take that away from her, money from her wallet without asking? Well, no, that's how nature works, right? You need to ask permission. So having that respect for nature is very, very important. And by doing that, having that respect, that communication with nature, then nature gives back to you. And that's what happened to me in the documentary. The mountains started talking to me, the lake started talking to
Mhm.
me. And it was wonderful, because then I was able to see that when I was in Ausangate, which is one of the probably most important mountain ranges in Peru, over 15,000 feet, by the way. Um, I could tell that when I got there, it's like, oh, you were the one that called me here. It was just like, you did. I could just tell you were the one. So, and I was looking at the mountain, and I could just feel like, yeah, you're here now. This is the message I want you to deliver. And just being able to have that communion with nature make me understand what my purpose was. Now, everyone has a different purpose. My purpose was to bring you this message. My purpose is to help you reconnect with nature. My purpose is to help you find your purpose, right? Your purpose might be completely different than mine. And that we need to honor that. And by honoring that, we realize that everyone has value. Everyone has a particular role in this beautiful planet. You know, all of us have a purpose, and that purpose is divine, whatever it is.
Beautiful. Yeah. And just before I want to dive into this idea of finding your purpose, because this is such a huge topic, especially for the folks in this group. Before we do that, I want to take a little step back of the idea when you said asking permission. Like, what's an example of how we could, just ask permission and maybe connect more? I'm just looking at all these beautiful trees in my friend's backyard, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
how do I start this relationship?
Right, right. Exactly. I had the blessing to meet this amazing woman, Elena Pardo, that taught me during her interview how important it is to have that respect for nature. And she's actually teaching children that when they plant a seed, to ask Pachamama, Mother Earth, for permission to put that seed into the womb of the earth. And that was just like, that was incredibly powerful. And then she told me, we have ceremonies where we go and give presents to the river. We give presents to the mountains. And when we harvest the food, the vegetables or whatever, the corn, we give a present and give thanks. We give ceremony. So that really, really, really resonated with me, because she told me everything is alive. If you realize that everything is alive, then your relationship with the planet is different. So when I got home, I was just like thinking about this, and I go into my yard and I look these beautiful pine trees, and I'm like, oh my God, I had these giants in my yard the whole time, and I've never spoken to them. How I was denying myself to have that relationship with nature. I mean, I had it in different ways, but I never thought of these trees. I can really communicate with them. Another example, my husband and I had acquired property in Lake Tahoe, and for whatever reason, it didn't close before the documentary, with a partner for the documentary, but it closed right after. And with that knowledge, before we took possession of the place, I decided, you know what, before I do this, before I take possession of this beautiful apartment, I'm going to ask permission to Lake Tahoe to allow me to live in the shores, to allow me to enjoy myself in the shores. And that's what we did. We have flowers. We pray our intentions into the flowers, and then we give the flowers to Lake Tahoe. And Lake Tahoe spoke back to us. And he told me that he really misses people communicating with him. I saw him as a male spirit, Indian, and he really wants to have that connection again. And he hopes that people treat him with respect, and that we have that mutual respect back and forth. It's so important when you talk about nature. And I think with any being, with anything that is alive, you need to have respect.
Yes. Yeah. So much that these lights just flickered out. We're having a fun day today. When you have Fabiola on your show, who knows what can happen. So this is I love that. And for you all listening, some are in the Reno area and some are not. We've got this beautiful Lake Tahoe right in our backyard. And I love that idea of, really reconnecting with our beautiful Sierras and lake. It's just so precious now more than ever. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. However, this is all so related, especially, if you're listening to this, and I know, sometimes we bring this conversation outside of the Facebook group. So whether you're in the Facebook group or not, these conversations are really designed for people who are consciously, designing a business. And when I say the word business, people kind of get a little freaked out, like, oh, I'm not a business owner. That's not for me. However, I want to challenge us all, and I've been talking about this week. Like, we are all creators, and we all have this, as you call it, Fabiola, like this spark and this light within. And you're someone who I think can really help people find it within. So I kind of wanted to talk about, if for folks listening, how do you really get in touch with this gift, and where have you started maybe on your own journey? And then maybe how do you kind of, when you're helping folks who are maybe let's just say that they're kind of in a stuck state, like they're in like a stagnant state.
Yeah. Well, step number 1, take a deep breath. Because breathing air is life, you know, and sometimes we just hold our breath and we feel so anxious and stressed out because we're not even breathing, because life just shocked us to death and we're not breathing. We stop breathing. And please just take a deep breath. And the second step I would say is just take the time to be with yourself,
Mm.
meaning go for a walk in the woods, practice meditation, and please, if you are rolling your eyes because you try meditation and it didn't work for you, please contact me because I will make it work for you. Meditation can be a wonderful experience, and you can be in bliss for 10, 20, 15 minutes a day. That will make your day so much better and so much happier and so much more fulfilling. Having that time to commune with yourself is very, very important. And then use meditation as a tool that allows you to clear your energy field, your aura, your emotions, and use that tool to let go of all that pain and struggle and trauma, because sometimes we don't realize that trauma gets stuck in our space, and something that happened 10 years ago or a relationship that happened 10 years ago is still very present in your energy field. So
Mm.
if you're not aware of that, you need to become aware of that. Find it in your space and say, okay, I forgive you. I'm ready to let it go and let it go. So it's very simple to do it once you know how to do it. And just take that deep breath, because that prana allows it to release, and yeah, and just changing your perspective from thinking that everything is physical, right? That everything is physical. There are definitely things that we can't see, like an energetic field, and we can heal by working at that level. And if you are a religious person, I mean, gosh, it's the same thing. It's just not dogmatic. It's not structured by your religious beliefs. It's just spiritual energy that we can all certainly work with, and that we have the right to work with. So that's how I do it.
I love that. So just to kind of recap for folks, it's really, yeah, just those finding your breath. And you can do that throughout the day, right? Just like
Absolutely.
you're spiraling. I mean, yesterday was kind of one of those days for me. It's whether I've got all this crazy furniture things that are happening, still trying to set up my new apartment. And then we've got the fire alarm situation, all these things. And it's like, okay, let's just pause, find our breath. And then I love this idea that we can clear our energy. I wanted to kind of dig into that just a little, like clearing these clearings, because for folks that maybe aren't used to, the idea of clearing your chakra or clearing your auras, can you maybe, what's like a simple way to do just kind of start that exercise?
Okay, I can do that. But before I start, I want to tell you something. You clean your body every day, right? You take a shower every day. You wash your hair. You make sure that you smell good, right? That's the physical part. We need to take a soul shower, and
Mm.
that's what meditation does. Okay, so this is how I do it. When I start with a client, first of all, I tell them to find a comfortable chair, and to sit back with their back straight, and to close their eyes, and just to take a deep breath and let yourself settle into the chair. And just imagine a connection between the bottom of your spine, which is your coccyx, right, to the center of the earth, like a beam of light. And just allow that beam of light to anchor you to the earth, to the center of the earth, to your mother, to Pachamama. You're part of the earth, right? So you're connected to it now. So I want you to start letting go of anything that you're ready to release as you take deep breaths. And I want you to continue doing that. And as you do that, I want you to take your attention to the center of your head, right here behind your forehead, in the very center of your head. And I want you to find you. I want you to find your vibration. And for the people that haven't done this before, this place can be pretty crowded. I mean, you might see your parents in there, you might see your dog, you might see your cat, you might see your boss, so many other people. You might see colors, or you might just feel pressure, okay? And that's okay. You don't have to see images. Take a deep breath and ask all these distractions, people, thoughts, responsibilities to just walk out of your head. Just imagine a door on each side of your head and just let them walk out, or you can let them go to the center of the earth. And as you do that, also, I want you to imagine that energetic space around you, right? It might be very, very big or very, very small, but for now, we're going to bring it a little closer to yourself. And I want you to just, as you take deep breaths, I want you to let go of anything that is in that energy field that doesn't serve you anymore, or anything that is in you. Sometimes we have people in our field, right? So take a deep breath and let it go through that connection to the center of the earth that you created before. Very good. And as you do that and you're grounding and releasing, as you release all this energy, you're gonna start feeling like you're like a cheese full of holes, right? Like there's gaps in your aura that are left empty. So as you do that, I want you to think of different energies. We can think of the energy of the sun. You can imagine a big cold sun and just being pouring down into your aura and filling up all those gaps that are being left behind, if that is what you prefer. Another one that I like to use is the purple river. Imagine that you are under a purple river or a purple waterfall, a purple fire waterfall, and imagine that energy comes down on you and is filling you up and healing you. Very good. And the purple fire is very, very powerful, so you might feel a little sleepy. It's making me sleepy. So, okay, very good. And just let go. Just keep taking deep breaths, and just let's think of something that you want to have today. If you want to have joy, let's imagine a big gold sun above our head and put a little bit of joy. If you want to have a good day at work, or if you just want to have just I don't know, fulfillment, whatever it is, a word, peace, harmony, just put it in that gold sun and make that gold sun just grow and grow, capturing all the energy that you left in other places. Because you might have left some of your energy at work or at your mother-in-law's or who knows where, or in another country like I do sometimes. And just let it come back into that sun, filling up with all your energy, with all that intention that you have for you today, and let it pour down onto you like a shower, like a golden shower, filling you up, cleaning you up, and balancing you. I feel so good. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes.
Okay, I could start every day like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, wow, it was really funny when I started doing this. I would make a list of, okay, before I forget, I go into my meditative stage. I know I have to do all these things, and I will have a list of 20 things to do. But after meditating for 10, 15 minutes, I would open up my eyes and look at my list and say, what was I thinking? This is not for me to do. This is not for me to do. And before I knew it, my 20 item list was down to 5. And I could live a more purpose-driven life, a more focused life. All the clutter that was the responsibility of somebody else got taken out. It was gone from my space. So, I highly, highly recommend you doing this in your daily practice. Just taking time to be with yourself, to find that energy within you, your true voice, and then focus on what's really, truly important for you.
That's so wonderful. Yeah. And I think through that exercise, in a way, it's like helping us. Sometimes I think we're following the path that others want us to be on, and we get confused with our own life path and then someone else's. So just that exercise of really discerning what is ours and what is maybe someone else's. Absolutely. So I think, yeah, that's really helpful. Wow. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. And when I work with my clients, it's interesting because this is just kind of like the starting point when I work with them. But then pretty soon, when I start reading them and seeing what's going on, then new tools start coming in. My guys tell me, okay, no, this is what we're gonna do now. This is what they recommend, and I start developing new techniques. And I think, again, every person is different, so you will need a different technique, a different process. And it's not that I have to give it to you, but I think by you going into nature and allowing the time to be with yourself, you will start getting those tools yourself too.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Well, this is so wonderful, and you have so much to offer. And I can tell you from someone who has experienced, Fabiola's gifts firsthand. If you're in that state of, yeah, just kind of wondering what is that next best step, and what maybe a little stuck, and we all get in stages like that. Having someone come in, honestly, like I used to go to traditional therapy, and now I go to folks like Fabiola to experience readings, because it's a form, and I think that's why you do say intuitive counselor too, is because it is a form of counseling and helping us move through things. And so you offer readings, and I'll how can people, yeah, if they want to, talk to you and experience a reading, what is a good next step? Would it be, I mean, you're in this Facebook group, but then in general, direct
Yeah.
message on Facebook, would that be?
Yes, absolutely. Sending a message through Facebook, or look me up on Facebook or Instagram, and also my website, fabiolabaughman.com. And journey to the heart of the Andes. Join the group, and we can definitely connect and help you find your next step. I mean, believe me, my job is to teach people. I'm not out. This is not something that I do for wealth, for sure, but it's something that gives me a different type of wealth, which is a spiritual wealth. And that's what I want you to have, that spiritual wealth that allows you to perform in this three-dimensional reality with joy and happiness, and just enjoy life at multiple levels, not just one.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for offering your gifts today. And here you are. You have had the pleasure of meeting Fabiola and getting to know you and your story a little bit more today. So I know that folks are going to, lean in it and want more, because I always do whenever I speak to you. Any closing thoughts for the day as we venture into this three-dimensional world that we live in?
I know it's a hologram, right? Just I would like you to take the time to go outside, to commune with nature, and to make time for yourself, to be with yourself and listen to your inner voice. That is the best thing, because everything we need to know is within ourselves. So allow yourself to hear your inner voice. It's just the only thing that I would like you to do. So
Wonderful.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for inviting me, Fran.
Of course. Yeah, of course. So lovely to have you. Thank you for your time today. And just for everybody else listening, if we go live every single morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Fran's usually in a different place due to fire alarms or my own spark pulling me to some part of the world. But I'll always be here consistently, because I think starting off our days with these messages and meeting all these amazing people and really starting it together. So my favorite definition of community, is really when a group of people agree to grow together. And so I think it's just, we're all here agreeing to grow together. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah, great to chat.
Bye, everybody.